Welcome to today's episode for the Dallas Cowboys. This is a special deep dive episode focused entirely on the future of the Dallas Cowboys. Today we are talking about two major names that continue to dominate Cowboys rumors and conversation across the league. Those names are George Pickens and Jadeveon Clowney. Cowboys fans everywhere are hearing very different messages depending on where they get their information. National media outlets are pushing one story. Local Dallas reporters are telling a very different story. And in the middle of that, we have the players themselves speaking openly about the future. In this episode, we are going to slow everything down. We are going to separate facts from the rumors. We are going to explain the contract situation, the locker room impact, and what makes sense for the Cowboys both short term and long term. This is not a hot take episode. This is a full breakdown for the Dallas Cowboys news. George Pickens has become one of the most talked about players connected to the Dallas Cowboys. The season is simple. He is talented, young, productive, and still entering his prime years as wide receiver. When the players like that become eligible for the contract discussions, the entire league pays attention. Wide receivers are among of the most expensive positions in the National Football League. Teams are always looking for the elite talent, and Pickens clearly fits that description. National media outlets love stories like this. They talk about destination, they talk about trade possibility, they talk about fresh starts. This creates headlines and clicks and debates. But here is a key point many fans miss. And national media does not always understand the international culture of the team. They look at the numbers, they look at the contract, they look at the cap space. They do not live inside of the locker room. This is where local media become important. There is clear gap between what national media says about George Pickens and what local Dallas media is reporting. National media keeps pushing the idea that George Pickens is preparing to leave. They flame him as the future free agent who will test the market. They connect him to other teams that needs wide receiver. Local Dallas reporters are not buying that story. Local media members who talk directly to the team sources consistently says the Cowboys do not expect the Pickens to leave. They see him as a part of the long-term plan. They understand how much the coaching staff values him, not just on the field but in the local room. This is difference matters. When local media aligns with the player comments, that usually tells you more than any national headlines. One of the most important parts of this story is George Pickens himself. He has not been quiet. He has not avoided questions. He has openly talked about his feelings toward the Cowboys organization. Pickens said he is open to stay in the Dallas. He spoke about the players, the locker room, and the culture. He made it clear that what he has Dallas is not easy to find elsewhere. He mentioned his pre-draft visit to other teams, and he compared those experiences to what he feels now. His words showed appreciation, comfort, and respect for the Cowboys' environment. That matters more than people realize. Players who want to leave usually give vague answers. Pickens did not do that. His comments sounded like someone who feels at home. Let us talk about the franchise tag because this is where reality steps in. At minimum, the Cowboys can use the franchise tag on the George Pickens. That number is expected to around $28 million for the wide receiver. This is not speculations, it stands on the league procedure. Using the franchise tag gives the Cowboys control. It buys time, it prevents Pickens from leaving while long-term negotiations continue. Teams Only red light players work when they have no leverage. The Cowboys have leverage here. That alone should calm fans who are worried about George Pickens leaving soon. From the football perspective, keeping George Pickens is logical. He stretches the field, he demands the defense attentions, he helped the quarterbacks, he opens the space for other receivers. He changes now how the defense play for the Cowboys. Replacing a player like that is extremely difficult. Draft picks are uncertain. Free agents is expensive and risky. The Cowboys already knows what they have in Pickens. The knowledge is very variable. This is not just about the talent, this is about the continuity, chemistry, and stability. Now let's shift to the defense side of the ball. Jadeveon Clowney may not be the same player he was early in his career, but he has been a solid contributor for the Cowboys. He brings experience, physicality, and leadership to the defensive front. Most importantly, he wants to return that much. Clowney openly said he wants to come back to Dallas if the team wants him. He talked about the preparation and he talked about staying ready. He talked about signing early and attending training camp. Those comments showed self-awareness. Veteran players who understand their bodies and roles can extremely valuable. Clowney is not chasing hype. He is chasing contribution. He believes he still has something left in the tank, and he recently praised support that beliefs. Resigning Jadeveon Clowney would not block young players, it would support them. He can rotate, he can mentor, and he can provide depth. And the Cowboys do not need him to be a superstar, they need him to be reliable. They need him to be reliable. So far, he has been exactly that. A short-term, team-friendly deal makes sense. When you step back and look at the big picture, the Cowboys are in a strong position, and George Pickens is not running away. Jadeveon Clowney wants to stay. The team has option, leverage, and stability. Rumors will always exist. Headlines will always exaggerate, but real decisions happen quietly. The smartest moves are often the latest dramatic ones. Thank you for watching us and listening us to this very amazing news for the Dallas Cowboys about these two superstars who are in the contract situation for the Dallas Cowboys. And as in Cowboys fans, what is your comments about George Pickens' contract situation and resigning Jadeveon Clowney?